All right, hey guys, what's up? It's me. If you like the video, subscribe. This is a topic I have been thinking about kind of a lot recently. So, I have a 4-year-old cousin. He's awesome, right? I'm apparently his best friend. I know you guys are jealous, but his parents recently got divorced and he moved into my old grandma's house right down the street from me. So, I've been spending like a lot more time with him, like me and my family. And every time we go over to his house, like I see what he watches, right? And like the cartoons and the shows that he has and that he's probably going to have in his childhood, right? And like I see them and there's actually like a part of me that like kind of feels a little bad, right? Because like dude, it might like I mean no, this isn't correct. Like cartoons were just better when I was a kid. Like obviously like depending how old you are, if you were like a kid in the 80s, if you were a kid in the 90s, you'd be like, "Oh, I had the best cartoons. I had the best cartoons." Maybe this is just me glazing my childhood, but I do think that I was born into like the at least like the golden age of cartoons. But the thing is like if you were born, I'd say before 2010, the thing that we all have in common is like our shows, they weren't like you look at children's shows now, right? Like my cousin, he loves Paw Patrol. He loves Bluey. They're fine shows. They teach kids good messages, right? But they'll never actually like there'll never be like a cohesive I can't there will never be like a cohesive story, right? You look at all of our cartoons, even back to like Transformers in the 80s. Yeah, they were one-off episodes for kids, but they all like they were real shows. They were real shows that had like meaningful things happen, and like as the season would progress, there would be the season finale, characters would come off. I My cousin's 4 years old, right? I still remember this. It was 2008. I was 5. So I was only a year younger than him when this happened. No, a year older. Not not a year younger. I was a year older. I was 5 years old. It was 2008. The first ever episode I saw of Star Wars The Clone Wars on Cartoon Network. It was episode 5. It was the episode where the droids tried infiltrating the moon base that all the clones were on. I was 5 years old. That entire episode, it is nothing but death. This was a children's show that aired on prime time. Like it was like 8 o'clock. That was one of the time slots for Cartoon Network. 8 o'clock. This premiered. You just see all. It's like you see. There's guns. There's actual action. Like back 10 years. Like nowadays, I think TikTok kind of had something to do with this. Of just like the new like faster paced. Why do we need story when we can have bright colors, funny one-off jokes, and just instant like gratification, right? Back then, something would happen in a show, it would not come back up for like another season. I remember, I don't remember when this was, like Adventure Time. Adventure Time probably one of my favorite shows of all time. I remember this was a kids show. I was at my grandmother's house. The day the Lich episode dropped, that was like the first time I ever felt legitimate fear in my entire life. Adventure Time, a cartoon for children, made me feel legitimate fear for the first time in my entire life. That's not happening anymore. Gravity Falls, once again, beautiful show, phenomenal show for children. Gravity Falls would not air today. And I think I know, like, I heard rumors of Gravity Falls maybe coming back. It's not going to Disney. Gravity Falls is 100% coming back as, like, an adult show. Like, like, literally, like, back then, Avatar The Last Airbender. Avatar The Last Airbender aired on Nickelodeon during the 2000s. Is Avatar The Last Airbender a children's show? Absolutely. Avatar The Last Airbender is a children's show in every single, like, form, right? There's no way to look at it other than Avatar being a kid's show. Does that change the fact that Avatar is also maybe one of the best stories told in the 21st century? No. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this. Back in my day, cartoons actually cared, right? They were legitimate shows that, like, as a child, you could watch. You could watch, and it would, like, tickle all the parts of your brain that a children's show should tickle, right? It would do the things it needs to do. But at the same time, you could watch it with your parents, and your parents would be like, wow, this is a real show. This isn't just some stupid brain rot I don't understand. This is a legitimate show with legitimate characters that have legitimate feelings and go through legitimate events. That doesn't happen anymore. Like, children's television has actually just been ruined by, like, profitable, like, plushies. Like, they don't... Dude, Teen Titans Go. I would say that, like, 2013, when Teen Titans Go came out, that was the beginning of the end. There was still some good stuff afterwards, but that was really when everything started to decline. Teen Titans Go, in every single, like, shape, is a complete disgrace to the original Teen Titans. Once again, another kid show that was once again a real show. Like, children's TV used to actually just be dark sometimes. Like, can we just talk about this? Like, even back in, like, the 80s and the 90s, right? They got dark. Like, these shows got to places where it's like, oh, yeah, this is a children's show. Your favorite character also just died. You're 9 years old. You have your... Dude, Star Wars, do you have any idea how many clones died in Clone Wars? And how many... Like, cause, like, obviously, every episode, you'd see a bunch of just, like, background clones die. Dude. When Fives died, that is legit... Clone Wars is the only show I think that's ever made me cry. Once as an adult, once as a child. Fives' death is, like, the most traumatic thing you could ever see as a child. Your favorite character going, like, schizophrenic and being shot to death by his brothers while Anakin Skywalker and Captain Rex are staring at him. That aired on Cartoon Network. That is a fun, like, that is something you actually remember. Dude, it's, like, it's so sad. It's so... Because even the shows that, like, stuck around, like, look at SpongeBob. I'm not gonna go into, like, a whole unhinged rant on SpongeBob right now, but, like, SpongeBob SquarePants, from, like, when it first came out to, like, I'd say around the time the first movie came out, if you look at that era of SpongeBob and compare it to SpongeBob now, entirely different show. All the characters are fundamentally different. Like, obviously, like, SpongeBob is SpongeBob, right? SpongeBob, if you just barely look at it, SpongeBob today, he's no different than SpongeBob, like, 20 years ago, right? But if you really take a deep dive into, like, the actual characteristics of SpongeBob, modern SpongeBob is, like a fraction of a shell of what SpongeBob was 30 years ago, right? That time period of SpongeBob, if you really wanted to, you could just pick a random episode, you can look it up on YouTube, and you will find, like, a 10-minute video documentary on why that episode of SpongeBob was so special. Like, every single, like, episode, every cartoon, everything back then, they were legitimate shows, right? They were like, you could just I watched Adventure Time when I was 18. Because I didn't finish the entire show. I watched Adventure Time as it aired up till, I think, Stakes. And then that's when I kind of just stopped watching, like, TV in general. I rewatched the entire show as an 18-year-old. Right now, you could say it was nostalgia, right? It, like, season 1 was kind of slow. Everything after that, just legitimate storytelling. That doesn't happen anymore. Because these companies are like, oh, why would we waste money to make a show with a real story that we need multiple seasons for to fulfill, when we can just set out, like, one season of Poop Boy and Pea Girl, right? And it's like, oh, I'm in the pea cave, and then the kid laughs for a second. And then they get to make, like, a toy off it. Like, from a monetary perspective, yeah, that makes so much sense, right? Isn't that what Disney did? Like, I know Disney, they canceled, like, all of their actual, like, cartoons. Because they were like, yeah, there's no point wasting money when we can just, like, we can just poop out all this garbage. Because the kids will watch garbage, right? My cousin's gonna grow up in a world watching garbage. Like, when I was his age, to, like, 10 years old, that was, like, Nicktoons was popping off. That's when Disney XD first came out. Cartoon Network. Flapjack? I mean, I guess, you know, Flapjack. Flapjack may not be the best example. Adventure Time, regular show, Gumball. Like, there was garbage when I was a kid, right? Like, Flapjack was garbage, right? Chowder was... Listen, say whatever you want. Chowder, not the pinnacle of storytelling. There was garbage, but the garbage was amongst the actual storytelling, right? The good shows. And even the garbage, you look at, like, I still remember, there was this Cartoon Network show I saw, like, 2 years ago. I don't remember why I was watching Cartoon Network, but it was called Apple and Onion. And one episode of Chowder had more, like, care, more lore than the entirety of that show. And they're not even making shows anymore. I look at the Cartoon Network like the episode layout for like just a random day. It was nothing but Gumball reruns, which is fine, I guess, but like they're not even making new cartoons. I don't know. I thought about this and it's like it's kind of sad, right? Because like cartoons were awesome and like they were like awesome because like they actually like exposed you to like real world like things, like real world issues, real like I mean, like obviously like not real like Star Wars. Like Star Wars can't happen, but like the concepts of death, right? The concepts of like trust, character building, more than fart jokes, right? Like they were there and now that's just it's leaving, right? I don't know. I just, if you disagree with everything I'm saying, if you think I'm wrong about me being born in the golden era of cartoons and you think that when you were a child in like the 90s, let me know, I guess. I don't know. This is really sad. And I feel bad for him. I really do. I really feel bad for my 4-year-old cousin who will never know this ever unless he watches I can force him to watch my shows. I can convince him. I don't know. This video is going on kind of long now though. So I am going to go. Goodbye.